Everybody, welcome back. Tape Don't Lie podcast, YouTube, Raider Film Channel. It's me and BD Williams. I'm Marcus Johnson. How you guys doing today? Getting ready for the Bills this week. Buffalo Bills. Raiders are 2-1. Buffalo Bills are 3-0. It's going to be a good matchup for us. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button. It's your first time here. We're over 1,000 subscribers. So thank you guys for subscribing to this podcast. We really, really appreciate it. So really, we're going to keep pushing for you, give you great content every week. So stick around. We're going to give you even better content. It's going to get better and better from here. So we really appreciate you guys hanging around. So make sure to follow us on Twitter as well. It's the Mark John NFL at BD Williams 18. All right, BD, how you feeling? How you feeling today, man?
No, I'm doing all right, man. You must be tired. This was a busy week for you. How many
It's
radio spots? You had a tweet that went viral. You know what I'm saying? You had a busy week. I saw you everywhere.
Yeah, it's been a busy week, man. I hope it stays busy. Let's just say that. Let's hope it stays busy, because I hope it doesn't die down. We got it. Like I said, that's why we're gonna keep pushing, keep giving that great content. I'm thankful for all the love that I've been getting, so I really appreciate it.
So, any thoughts about this upcoming matchup here, or things that we left out before in last week's episode?
For this upcoming matchup, I think it's more of a better fit than against the Patriots. I think what the Bills do and what the Raiders do, and what the Raiders want to do, kind of matches against this defense. I will say the defense, they are built to stop big plays, and for the Raiders, who aren't really built on explosive plays. But I mean, they actually have a lot of explosive plays this year. So I think they're ninth in explosive plays, which is pretty interesting with some of the thoughts that people have about the offense. But the Bills, that's what they're built. They play a lot of too high. They want everything underneath. They want you to be able to move down the field and score in the red zone. So, I mean, that's what's important here for the Raiders this week. They got to score in the red zone, because there's not going to be a lot of explosive plays given up. I mean, even the Rams last week, they had to move the ball, and Sean McVay called some awesome plays in the red zone to create lanes for these players. So, I mean, we hope John is looking at Sean McVay's playbook, because, I mean, Sean McVay, I'm going to show you guys, I mean, he was really cooking last week. And just
he was cooking with gas, right? Yeah.
He was cooking, man, and it took a while, but once he started getting going, it was pretty special. So, what do you got for us this week, BD?
Yeah, I'm gonna go over the Bills offense, and I didn't look at the numbers, but I'd be surprised if these guys weren't top 5 in explosive plays. It's a really interesting offense. It's probably the anti Gruden offense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of college concepts, and it's just really a lot of Josh Allen being Superman. I think one of the reporters in one of these press conferences, they were asking maybe Corey Littleton about going up against Cam Newton and going up against Josh Allen, and I think that's a good comparison. These guys are big dudes. They can, they're hard to take down.
Yeah.
And they're looking to sling the ball. So, and then Josh Allen he's got a fantastic, incredible arm. I think there is valid debate. I won't pick a side, but there's valid debate on who has a bigger arm between Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. So for Raiders fans, if all you do is just watch Raiders, maybe you don't see a lot of other teams or hear about a lot of other teams. This Josh Allen kid, he's very well regarded as far as quarterback talent in the NFL, and he's definitely an ascending player. He's doing a lot better. So, let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
So, the first thing I'll talk about isn't the passing game, but it'll be the run game. Okay, and the Bills aren't really a reliant on the run type of team, but they do have this little wrinkle where they have a tight end and they'll put him in the backfield. Okay. And you can call this an H-back. So he's basically a tight end playing fullback, and they'll move him around. Is he going to be on the edge? Is he going to be a fullback? And he can insert anywhere on the line of scrimmage as a lead blocker. And what the challenge that this presents is now you have to worry about this movable battering ram in the run game. And what happens as a result of that is sometimes they'll slip this guy on play action right behind linebackers for easy completions, easy gains. Okay.
Sorry, that's funny that JT O'Sullivan ripped him on this play when I was watching QB school because he thought he could hit the dig behind it, but it's probably designed. I think so.
Yeah, it's probably his first read. He's there, he's open, so take it. You know,
it was interesting because
yeah. And I mean, and we can get into maybe some of Josh Allen's shortcomings as far as like reading the field and having awareness. Okay. Which I will talk about a little later on. But right now, his favorite target in the passing game is none other than Stefon Diggs. Yes, Stefon Diggs plays for the Buffalo Bills. Some people didn't realize that. And he's a fantastic receiver, obviously. And he's probably playing his best football right now with Josh Allen, who's a guy who's very willing, okay, to hold onto the ball and let this guy get open and air it out to him. And their chemistry already through 3 weeks in the NFL. I mean, this is one of the most exciting quarterback wide receiver tandem in the NFL right now. And a lot of it has to do with Josh Allen really trusts Stefon Diggs, and Stefon Diggs is a fantastic wide receiver. Okay. Yeah. And, Josh Allen really likes Stefon Diggs. He wants to go to him. He's willing to throw the ball into tight coverage on plays where Stefon Diggs, even though he's a fantastic route runner, even on plays where maybe he's not even open. Like if you check this play out, Stefon Diggs didn't even realize he was getting the ball, and then Josh Allen threw it to him anyways. Okay, so their chemistry is something crazy. Now, I do think that this is going to be the first week where we see the Raiders actually have a good pass rush. Okay, Josh Allen, I did check the stats for this. Josh Allen is third in the NFL in terms of how long he holds the ball. And this is a quarterback who is a big, strong guy with a fantastic arm, and he's going to hang in the pocket and try to make plays. And sometimes it comes as a detriment, and as a result, he'll take a lot of sacks, So it's kind of it's a pass rushing game. They pass the ball so much in this offense that there's going to be opportunities where maybe he's not recognizing blitzes. He's hanging in the pocket where some quarterbacks wouldn't hang in the pocket to try to make some plays. Okay. But, this is an example of the kind of things that can happen. And this is the reason why he does it. Okay. Because he's just a fantastic talent moving around in the backfield. And let's watch that one more time here. Okay. So, I mean, this is just some special stuff. Not many people are going to be able to do this. Avoiding the rush, giving that guy a little dead leg, keeping the eyes downfield, and throwing a strike on the sideline, right? Now, the thing with sacks, though, and the thing with Josh Allen is that it could lead to mistakes. And this ended up being an interception. Yeah. Okay. Some people, disagreed with that being an interception, but it got ruled an interception. Okay. And, from pressure comes interceptions, comes fumbles, and the Raiders are really going to need to capitalize in those departments if they're going to win the game, because the Bills are going to score. They scored on everyone. And it's not necessarily me saying that I don't think that the Raiders defense is great, which, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. They're not great, right? But I'm just saying it doesn't really matter who these guys are going to go up against. It's going to be a rare team that keeps them under, 25 points scored in a game, 24 points scored in a game, right? Yeah. And they throw downfield so much, and Josh Allen is so gifted. He can literally make any throw. I mean, that's a cliche in the NFL, but this guy can really make any throw, right? There's that one of those Yankee concept across the deep over route to Stefon Diggs from the other side of the field. His feet are not even set, like they're parallel to the line of scrimmage. He's not like stepping into the throw. He's just like fading away and throws the ball on a rope, 45, 50 yards through the air. It's like, who does that besides, maybe like a handful of NFL quarterbacks? Yeah. So he's a really special talent. The Raiders are going, we'll see what this revamped secondary, what it really looks like, and we'll see if we can get a pass rush. And really, it's just going to come down to not necessarily stopping them. You're not going to stop them. They're going to throw for 300 yards easily. Yeah. That's like a given. You know, they threw for 274 last week against Chargers, and Chargers are known for having a great defense, right?
Rams.
Oh, I'm sorry. Rams.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, they threw 275 against Rams. Sorry. But the Raiders, they'll probably give up, a little north of 300 at least. If it gets much higher than that, probably doesn't have a good chance of winning this game. No. But I'm just saying, there's going to be opportunities to get some fumbles, to get some sacks, maybe cause some turnovers on offense with how much that they throw the ball. And that's really what the Raiders are going to need to capitalize to win this matchup on that side of the ball.
Yeah. I mean, they're coming to air it out, basically. So, I was talking with you about this earlier, about the pass defense. And it might be a little bit underrated. I mean, I was just looking at some of the rankings and some of the efficiencies and some things like that, especially in cover 3. I think this could be a good test to actually see if that is just a mirage, if that is just something I'm just looking at, and that's kind of just not really, like you said, volume, or there's something legitimate to it. To maybe Corey Littleton and them are better against the pass. So if we play teams like this, right, because everybody talks about the first quarter of last week, right? The Patriots, I mean, they came out trying to pass the ball first, and it didn't really work out for them. And then they started running the ball, and it was a little different, right? And they stuck to it because, I mean, they're smart. They're not going to try to stick with their game plan. They're like, okay, this is not working. Let's switch the game plan.
That's right.
That's type of what they are. So, the Bills are not a running team. They're a passing team. So it's going to be a lot for them to stick with the run. So, I mean, if this pass defense is pretty decent, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But if they're not, we're going to find out this week, basically. Because they haven't been really tested
so far. Yeah,
they haven't been tested. I mean, they played all right against Teddy Bridgewater. He had that one big play that kind of elevated Bridgewater's numbers, right? That 75-yard touchdown. That they had that one mistake, but they pretty much controlled everything, and they kept him not. He had to move the ball down the field. They weren't getting no pass rush that game, but it's been interesting. And then because Drew Brees wasn't very good on third down. I mean, he had some when they had to pass on third down, and it wasn't just dropping it off the Camara or something, and they had to come tackle him. I mean, if you actually had to throw downfield, they were able to get a couple stops right through the air, just a couple, not a lot, just a couple. So we'll see, man. And then Cam Newton couldn't pass it all last week. So
one thing I'll say about this is, I tend not to trust these stats about like who has the best passing defense, and then they just go off yardage and stuff like that. Because it's like, if you can run the ball like you could run the ball against the Raiders last week, what's the point of passing?
Yeah.
And you look at, this team has the best run defense, but then if you look, because like they allow like the least amount of rush yards per game, but then when you look at like how their games actually play out, they're always ahead. And there's no chance for their opponents to run the ball. Like, of course they have great run defense. No one's running the ball against them. The teams are having to pass against them. So that's why I kind of don't trust those numbers. And you have to look at things situationally. So I think that the Raiders' pass defense is probably solid, but as far as like them being in those upper metrics, like we were talking about, like number 1, cover 3. Completion percentage, and like number 7, cover 1, completion percentage, stuff like that. I say pump the brakes a little bit. Let's see how they do against Buffalo. It'll probably regress to the mean a little bit more this week.
Okay.
But I do think that there's going to be some opportunities, for takeaways. And also something I'll say, when I was thinking about this when I was watching Josh Allen, it looks like he's the kind of quarterback that you can blitz, because A, he's going to hold on to the ball for a long time. And B, he's a young quarterback in the NFL. He played at Wyoming. Obviously he's played in the NFL for 3 years, but he hasn't necessarily seen all the blitz schemes or been able to identify and master them. And there's sometimes when the Jets caught him slipping a little bit and they were sending some pressures, he was not able to, get the protection right, or just completely missed that there was a pressure coming. Stuff that, veteran quarterbacks tend not to do.
Yeah.
Josh Allen, he's still young in his career. Obviously, he'll get it figured out at some point. But at this point in his career, I think he's a little susceptible to, the creepers, stuff like that. That Paul Gunther likes to run, but other teams were using that successfully against him, like a 4-man rush. They're dropping a defensive end, they're sending the nickel or something like that. I think that the Raiders have a chance now. This is going to be Corey Littleton's week to shine. I think it's we saw week 1, the team wanted to, I think that they wanted to pass the ball. It was a lot of short stuff against Carolina, and that was Corey Littleton's best game so far. And I think that we're going to see a good game from Corey Littleton this week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It feels like this team, the defense was trying to go towards beating teams like this instead of beating teams like the Patriots.
Yeah. Yeah. Mike Mayock, John Gruden, they got to beat the Chiefs, right? So they're building their team for that. They're not building it to beat anyone else but the Chiefs. And probably the closest thing right now to the Chiefs, it's not the Chiefs yet, right? Not the Chiefs, but the closest thing to it in terms of like how they attack the ball, receivers vertically in the passing game. It's probably the closest so far through 3 weeks to the Chiefs.
Yeah. There's gonna be deep shots galore. So, all right. So, good stuff, BD. Love it. All right, let's go ahead and get into this offense here. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the Bills defense. All right, so the Bills, I will say, they have given up a lot of yards, but I still think this is a good defense. They still got good players. You cannot sleep on them. It's still early in the season. There's a lot of things going on. Yeah, sure, they've given up some points, but the potential is still there for them to get hot. So that is one thing I just want to call out before we get into this, because they got talent everywhere. Jordan Phillips is a good player. You got you got White. I can't even think of his first name right now. You got White. You got Micah Hyde.
Tre'Davious
White. Yeah, you got White. You got Jordan Poyer. You got Micah Hyde, who actually I think he was on the injury report, but they got he might be coming back this week, and he's on the field too. So then you got Edmonds, right? You got Matt Milano, right? Levi Wallace is a good player. So they have good players. All right. So let's understand that they definitely have a talented defense. Now, I think the Rams last week were able to do a lot of things with the run game that is just Sean McVay, but this is still the West Coast offense. What the Rams are doing, it's just they actually keep it simple. But it looks complex, but it's really, really, really so simple. So they do a lot of great things in the run game. So see a lot of these jet motions, right? And then you got a split zone back. Just love they just use Cooper Kupp, right? And I really feel like the Raiders got to steal a little of some of these concepts. They basically run the same offense, just a little bit more motion. As you see, the linebackers getting out of their gaps, moving with the jet motion, and it's constant jet motion. Linebackers move, he finds the cutback, and they just basically repeated this over and over and kept running the ball on them. It was a pretty special game plan that they had, but this is something the Raiders can easily duplicate. They run outside zone too. We're a zone run team, right?
Right.
West Coast offense, right? We got Hunter Renfrow. He can block too, right? He can block like Cooper Kupp. We've seen him this a couple times with some good blocks, right? But the motions, they keep coming, right? So this time we got an orbit motion, outside zone, perfect, right?
Split zone and orbit motion. That's nasty.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, with the split zone right there. Nasty stuff. So the run game is there to be taken. So the Raiders have to be effective in the run game and stick with it, I think, this week, right? They have to stick with it. I feel like I say that every week, that they need to stick with the run game, because it is kind of the basis, right? That's the basis of the offense, right? That's what they need to do. They can't get away from that identity of what they have. They have Josh Jacobs, right? Devontae Booker actually looks pretty good this year. I think they need to stick with this run game, but I really feel like they got to copy some of these concepts with the motions and what's going on with the outside zone. That's just beautiful outside zone right there. That's just amazing. It's just beautiful stuff, right? It just keeps coming more motion, run, backside, big gains, right? It kept them off guard all day. Eric's from cover one, he was covering this in his cover matchup show. He called it how they're opening up the weak bubble.
Okay, so yeah, they're attacking the space between the one technique and the defensive end on the open side of the formation, so meaning away from the tight end. There's a natural bubble between those two players where there's no three technique, right? The guard is uncovered. So yeah, I guess getting that guard to climb up to the linebackers in the zone.
Exactly, right? And as you see here, what I love about Sean McVay, that this is the same play they've been running, but play action. Look at the linebackers. Look at that gap in between. Perfect. So I mean, this is a game plan the Raiders can duplicate, right? So I really feel like they have to go to this pretty often, right? So let's go ahead and check out Cooper Kupp in the slot. So I expect a big day from Hunter Renfrow, right? And even Nelson Aguilar, if they want to move Nelson Aguilar inside. But they did a lot of great things with Cooper Kupp this week. As you can see here, look at him just get open. Right there, that's on Micah Hyde. Beautiful. And the Bills, they do a lot of too high. So what you're going to see here, which I expect to see this week, because they want to play everything. They're going to try to play everything underneath, is a lot of cover two man, which you see here. I expect to see a lot of this week. So they could play everything underneath. They could, as you see, the corners leverage. They know they got help over the top. So it made it, and then here, this is going to be the true cover twos, like Tampa 2 right here. And these zones are wide open, right? And if he sits and he doesn't fall, that's a completion, first down, right? 3rd and 4, first down. And those things are going to be there for Hunter Renfrow. All games going to be there for Hunter Renfrow. Right there in between the zones against the Tampa 2. So, I mean, this defense is built for the Raiders to move down the field and have that identity that they usually have and not have to have explosive plays like they did last week. So I expect them to move pretty easily down the field on these guys, but it's going to be important in the red zone for them to finish. And that's going to be the biggest part of this game. And, that's what the Bills, they're built on, to stop the pass, but we're going to have to keep running on them, run on the red zone and keep pushing, because that's the best way to beat them. If you try to beat them through the air, it's just not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy to beat them through the air. I mean, unless you're going to play action like the Rams did all day. I mean, you have to set up with the run and play action and get those linebackers out of the way, because once you get those linebackers in coverage, Matt Milano and Edmonds, they are damn good in coverage. So you have to be able to run the ball and play action, get those linebackers sucked up like the Rams did. I mean, once they have that game plan and they stick to it, I think they'll be able to move the ball. But it's all important. This game is all about the red zone, because there's not going to be a lot of explosive plays beating them deep, because they're going to keep saying the too high. I really think they're going to come out in the cover two man. And once they're in that cover two man, I think they're going to try to play underneath, like you saw with Teron Johnson. I mean, that was a great play by Cooper Kupp to get open, but I think you're going to see a lot of things like that. And they're probably going to go to the Tampa 2. They did a little bit. I'm not going to see a lot of them, playing a lot of quarters or anything like that and too high. They're going to stick to that cover two man, and they're going to stick to that cover two, I think, just to play everything underneath, and, they're not going to do exactly what the Patriots did, but they're going to try to stop those easy completions as well and come up and tackle. They're probably going to give them up, though. What I think they're going to see, they're going to give them up, right? But they're going to expect to come up and tackle. That's going to be their mindset with it. Like, okay, yeah, we'll give you the little 3-yard pass. We're ready to come up and tackle. So, but we'll see if they can tackle Jacobs and those type of guys in the open field if we do see those type of passes. But, I think we're going to see a lot of slants inside with Renfrow, a lot of choice routes, things like that. Get him matched up on some of these linebackers, right? When they get some of those coverages and, they do some different motions, they can get them lined up on some of those linebackers inside, and they can do some different things with Hunter Renfrow on choice routes. I think if they just focus on the inside and even put Waller inside, I think they can do that too. Put Waller inside and get him inside on some of those choice routes and get him lined up on Teron Johnson, because Teron Johnson has been playing pretty bad. I mean, he's given like 18 catches on 22 targets, 184 yards, most in the slot. So they could use Waller in the slot. They can use Renfro in the slot. They can use Aguilar in the slot. The inside of the field is where they got to attack, I believe.
How do you think that their linebackers are on coverage?
They're really good. Really good coverage. That's their specialty. Matt Milano and Edmonds, yeah, they're top-notch coverage linebackers.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting because, if they're running the ball a lot, which they should, right?
Yeah.
It could probably get them out of being in too high, and once they get into too high, then like you're saying, or once they come down in a single high, they put a safety in the box, stop the run, they can get into the play actions, maybe get one-on-one outside on the perimeter, right? But it'll be interesting to see how much burn Darren Waller gets this week because, yeah, I mean, from what I've heard, I haven't studied the Bills, but from what I've heard, Tremaine Edmonds especially is really good in coverage, right?
Yeah, I mean, this team is built to stop the pass, which you should be in today's NFL. And what we were kind of talking about earlier, that's how they're built. They're built to stop the pass. So, I mean, the run defense, yeah, sure, you can run on them, but eventually, if we're going to score a lot of points, what do you got to do, right?
Right.
You got to pass. So
yeah.
let's see if you can pass a lot, right? I think the Rams, in while they were able to come back, is because they stuck with the run. They didn't get away from it, and they were able to keep going. And I don't know if if John Gruden could have that type of patience if they get down. But I think the identity of this team, if they just stick with that and they don't try to get too cute and they get back to the play action passes they're running the first 2 weeks, I think the offense will be able to hang, right?
Yeah.
And hope for a couple turnovers, but it's just about the red zone in this game. This red zone. I mean, we talk about red zone offense. John Gruden has a long history of kind of struggling in the red zone since he left Oakland the first time, and it's important. It's going to be important in this game. They're going to have to finish drives because if they go down there and they try to do field goals or anything like that, it's going to be, people are going to be upset. Let's just say that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll see how it shakes out. I do agree though with what you're saying is that the Raiders kind of are built to handle this kind of defense. But it just depends on how much, the Raiders defense, if they start hemorrhaging points and yards and the game falls behind for the offense and they lose their identity, it's going to be a tough game on Sunday. So we'll see.
Yeah. And that's what it's about. It's just because, this team, the Bills, they're going to come on past the ball heavy passing, right? I think they average 38 attempts a game, something like that. And the Raiders haven't faced the offense like that yet.
Yeah.
So if they start putting up points really quick and it gets ugly, I mean, the Raiders got to get away from their identity. They could be in trouble. They have to keep this game close, basically, so they can stick to what they are.
One more point I'll make before I'll let you take it away.
Okay.
Devin Singletary, Raiders fans. The guy was a human highlight reel in college. Okay. And then he goes to the combine and he has like the worst combine performance in history.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so everyone forgot that this guy was a baller. Okay. Bills get him. And this guy is putting guys on skates every week. He's shifty. He's got every single move in the book. Okay. And the Raiders have been struggling with open field tackling. Getting this guy on the ground, if it's a screen game, if he's getting a little pass out to the flat, whatever it is, even if he's, taking a run on the boundary or up the sideline, it's going to be a task. He's not big, he's not fast, he's not strong, but he's just so slippery. And I mean, he's had a highlight-worthy moment every week, right? Except for maybe week 1. But these last 2 weeks, he's had some runs where he's, defenders are breaking their ankles trying to catch this guy. So we'll see if, the Raiders have been able to shore up their open field tackling issues because it's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, it's it is going to be a tough. I mean, it's going to be a tough game. I mean, and then they got the Chiefs next week, so it is a big game for the Raiders. But they're going to have to stay on schedule this game, and they're going to have to finish drives. I mean, they're not going to have some super explosive plays in this game because the Rams didn't. Um, I mean, the Dolphins were able to move the ball on them though. That was a key point, but they were also getting beat up pretty bad too through the air. So I don't know about this game, man. I'm nervous. I'm nervous. I am.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, all the casinos are open so these Bills guys can come from Buffalo to Las Vegas and get distracted.
Yeah, I'm nervous, man. Because it's gonna be all in the pass defense, bro. We're about to find out if
We're gonna find out. We are gonna find out. Yeah,
we're gonna find out what these guys are about.
Yeah,
if they're made for it, if they're ready for it. But maybe Trayvon Mullen is, man. Maybe he has his breakout game. I mean,
they're gonna get some kind of turnover. I'm willing to bet someone's gonna get an interception this week. And I said it before. I think this is time for Corey Littleton to show. Against the teams that have like the great back and the run game and everything like that. That's not really Corey Littleton's forte. Yeah. I went on the Pillaging podcast over spring, and they were asking me about free agent linebackers way before Corey Littleton even signed. And I was like, okay, Corey Littleton is not like this great all-around linebacker because everyone back then, before free agents started, they're like, Corey Littleton, we got to get Corey Littleton, right? And the Raiders got him, which is cool. I like Corey Littleton, but I was telling him the same thing I'm going to say now. He's not like this incredible linebacker, okay? But against teams that pass the ball like the Bills do, these are his times to shine, okay?
Exactly.
So this is going to be the Corey Littleton game. I think he's going to have a big game. I think Trayvon Mullen's going to have a big game. And they're going to need to if the Raiders are going to win.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna need to, and then Raiders got to finish drives. I mean, that's pretty much the key is pass defense. Raiders finish drives, don't get 3 points because they're gonna have to do the paper cut precision thing this week, and we'll see. And the line has to hold up too. I mean, the Bills. I mean, I can go over the pass rush. The Bills pass rush is not just a little joke. They got Ed Oliver and Jordan Phillips and Jerry Hughes and. They got some.
Sam Young. They said Sam Young is back practicing, so if Sam Young gets to start at tackle, and Denzel Good moves inside, we'll see how good how well Denzel Good's going to be able to transition from playing right tackle for 3 weeks to now left guard, or if they're going to roll with Simpson.
I mean, how sure are we that Sam Young is good though? Like, how sure are we of that?
Well. I think that their interior rushers are scarier. So I'm worried about John Simpson going up against Ed Oliver and just making Ed Oliver look like Aaron Donald on us. Okay, that's what I'm more worried about.
I think people just want John Simpson off the field. I think at this point.
No, I mean they look smart for drafting him now because look, like this offensive line that everyone claims is like the best offensive line in football. People who don't watch any other team besides the Raiders, and gets banged up, and you need depth regardless at every position. So it was a good thing. They look smart for drafting him. But yeah, I'm a little worried about him being able to handle some of the speed from Ed Oliver this week.
Yeah, but I just think it's funny. Like everybody's like, Sam Young's coming back. I'm like, I mean, yeah, he had a good 6 snaps, but I mean, let's relax on Sam Young a little bit. That's all I'm saying. I'm not. I mean, he could be just. I don't know how much better he is than Denzel Good at right tackle basis. That's my point. I don't know how much better
it's not about that. I'm telling you, it's not about how much better he is than Denzel Good. It's about how much better Denzel Good is at left guard than John Simpson. That's what it's about.
I know that's what it is, but I don't know. It's just funny. Everybody's like, Sam Young's coming back, and I'm like,
people who've never heard of Sam Young before, right? Myself included. Honestly, I didn't know who Sam Young was. Well, actually, one more thing.
Yeah.
So Damon Arnett, he's on IR. Luckily, during COVID rules, we got a 3-week IR before they're eligible to return. So hopefully we don't miss out on Damon Arnett the entire season. It's actually fun watching his tape. But people are like, oh, we lost Damon Arnett. How are they going to handle this passing attack and everything like that? And I put out a tweet earlier today. He's, by my count, okay, and I watch every single snap of Raiders defense. He's given up 10 catches on 11 targets. All right, so it's not like we're losing a lockdown corner here, right? With Damon Arnett and Nevin Lawson. He's slated to start. I don't know why people hate Nevin Lawson so much. Last year when he came in to start, when Darryl Worley got moved to safety, I think it was, against the Chargers at the end of the year, he had a fantastic game, like a great game against the Chargers. And he's filled in admirably. I think he has better slot reps in coverage than LaMarcus Joyner did last year when LaMarcus Joyner got banged up a couple times. Mm-hmm. So I'm actually a fan of Nevin Lawson. I'm probably the only person who's a fan of Nevin Lawson that's, not in Nevin Lawson's family. Okay. I like Nevin Lawson a lot, actually. Do I think he's like an elite corner? No, obviously not. I'm not saying that, but I think that he's definitely a starter. So it's fantastic that they got, the depth like that on the team.
Yeah.
But he's gone up against Stefon Diggs because when Nevin Lawson played in Detroit, Stefon Diggs played in Minnesota. So he's gone up against Stefon Diggs quite a few times. Okay. And so I actually went back for every year that they played against each other, every single game, and watched every single Stefon Diggs target. Okay. Mm-hmm. And Nevin Lawson went up against Stefon Diggs 4 times in coverage because usually it was Darius Slay whose job it was to cover Stefon Diggs. And Stefon Diggs was roasting Darius Slay in these matchups, okay? Roasting him. Remember over spring, everyone was like, Darius Slay is a top 5 corner. We got to get him. Right? He's good.
He gets roasted a lot. He's just tough. He doesn't care that he gets roasted, so he just keeps coming at you.
I mean, he's really good. He's really good, but he's not like Stephon Gilmore. Like people were like putting him in the same category. But anyways.
Yeah.
Nevin Lawson gave up 3 catches on 4 targets, and none of them went for a first down. Okay, he tackled the guy every single time. It was tight, contested coverage every single time. So I do think that Nevin Lawson is up to the challenge. Obviously going from Kirk Cousins to, throwing him the ball to Josh Allen, it's going to be a lot deeper, these targets that happen. But yeah.
Diggs can track the football, bro. That's one thing he could do is track the football.
So I'm not saying that Nevin Lawson is going to lock down stuff on Diggs, but I think he's up to the challenge. They belong on the same field together.
I want to clarify. I'm not saying Nevin Lawson is better than Darius Slay either. I'm just saying I saw Keenan Allen did Darius Slay pretty tough too. So it's just, I think he just has a problem with guys with wiggle. That's all it is a little bit. The basketball routes guys. The basketball route guys.
Right.
He has a little problem.
Whereas Nevin Lawson, he's going to hold on for dear life and he'll get a PI, but you're not going to beat him. Okay. They'll throw the flag before he beats you. Okay. That's it. Yeah. All right, man. That's it for me.
All right, dog. Any last thoughts? Anything else? No? We good, man? Yeah. We appreciate you guys listening again. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Hope you enjoyed the preview. Join us again next week. We'll be back. Make sure you hit subscribe button. Subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL, at BD Williams 18. Subscribe once again. It's your first time. We will appreciate all of you guys. We're about at 1,100 right now, I think. So, we're gonna keep moving. We're gonna keep pushing for you guys. All right. So, really appreciate every single one of you who already subscribed. So, check us out. We out.
All right. Much love, Raider Nation.